Alright guys, welcome to the videos today, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys my brand new PC from Ironside PC. Funny story, I actually emailed them about it like 2 years ago. I think I had 50 subscribers on YouTube, and that's why I ended up pursuing a relationship or a partnership with these guys, is because it was the first company that I tried to reach out to. I had 50 subscribers, and being extremely naive, I thought for some reason I would be able to get a sponsorship with them, and they said, look, you have to have a minimum of 50,000 subscribers, and I responded to that email, and I'll put a little I'll put a link on the screen or a little picture on the screen of it, and I basically told them I'd be back, and here I am, you know, 2.5 years later, and I am indeed back. So they aren't paying me to say nice things, but this is a sponsored video. They gave me an extremely hefty discount on the computer. I had the choice between having kind of like a little bit of a dinkier computer that wasn't quite as strong for free, or I could spend a little bit of my own money to make sure that what I was buying would be a sizable upgrade from my previous computer that I got around 2 years ago. So I'm very proud of it so far. It took a while to set up and get everything running, but without any further ado, this is the unboxing video.
Alright, so the brand new PC is finally here. I had to wait a little bit because they didn't have like TIs yet. I don't think they didn't have the 1080 Ti's, but it is huge if you couldn't tell. Because I just got home from school, I saw it laying on the front porch. This thing is massive. All right, my room is really messy, so if you can tell that it's messy, what did I just do? Sorry, I was looking at the camera for some reason. If you could tell that it's messy, I know it is in not the best of shape. I do agree, but this is kind of like the only place I can really unbox it. Alright, so the first thing we got is the main box, which usually has information about the motherboard, processor, just every sort of internal component to the computer. You can find information about it in here, and for a typical customer, usually you'll find some sort of receipt in here, so if you need to keep the information on the purchase you made, it'll have all the information printed on a piece of paper in there. We also have a cable management puck, a few stickers, decals, power cables. I think there's a few SATA connectors in there, so I can hook up my extra 500 gig SSD into it. But without wasting any more time, let's get into the good stuff. In case you're wondering what case I got the S340 Elite from NZXT. I was kind of on the edge between Corsair cases. I like Corsair cases a lot. NZXT obviously has a lot of good ones as well, whether it be just the plain S340 or the Elite. And I believe Ironside actually has their own line of cases, but it was kind of between Fractal cases, Corsair, and this. Eventually I settled on this. It's red, by the way, the red edition on the inside. So I do have to set the camera down, but let's unbox this thing. Alright, so we finally got it set up. I know there's a lot of wires in the back. Most of those are used just for like recording stuff with capturing audio. It's really complicated, which I didn't know when I first started YouTube, but it is looking absolutely fantastic. If you're wondering what I'm using, I have an i7-6850K, a GTX 1080 Ti. It has 16 gigabytes of 3000 megahertz DDR4 RAM, as well as a 128 gigabyte SSD boot drive, a 500 gigabyte SSD that I'll probably just be putting games and popular applications on, like the video editing program I use, which is Sony Vegas. It housed in the little bottom portion, you can kind of see the red. That's where the power supply is. It's an 800 watt power supply, and I believe I have an extra 1 terabyte hard drive down there, and I can kind of add on to anything whenever I want. I figured going for 16 gigabytes and then reinvesting that money into getting a Ti would be a little bit more important instead of just getting 32 gigs of RAM, because RAM, to be honest, you know, you can kind of upgrade any time, but moving from a 1080 to a 1080 Ti would just be a waste of money, and I figured getting the 1080 Ti right now would be the best choice for me. And the CPU, if we get a little closer here, is being cooled by the Corsair H100i V2 dual fan liquid cooling. Very cool. The cables are extremely nice. That's the thing I noticed. We also got the Ironside logo right here at the bottom. It's just the cable management, I think, is just, it's absolutely beautiful. I love the red cables. It fits the theme, like I said. I'm sorry for the wires, but let's go ahead and test some games on it and see how it performs.
Alright, so it's been a little bit under a week since I first got the computer. I've been playing a lot of H1Z1, some Overwatch, some Titanfall 2, some CSGO. I've been rendering a lot of videos, and for the most part, it's taken everything very well. So for H1Z1, I play on all low settings, but with a high character model, and at around 1000 render distance, I've been getting kind of between 130 and 150 FPS in the city, and then between 170 and 200. I think I capped out at around 220 FPS, kind of in more rural areas, you know, residential places, stuff like that. And then for CSGO, obviously a much older game, so you probably don't care too much about that. 1080p highest settings, I've been going at like 280 to 300 FPS. And then for Overwatch, at the lowest settings possible, which is what I used to use, I've been capping out at the frame rate cap, which is 300. And then when I pushed it to the epic settings, which is the max graphics settings, I've been hanging around 130 and 150. For Titanfall 2, I did not download Fraps, so I don't have an exact FPS counter, but I've experienced no lag. It looked just as smooth as all the other games I've played. Previously on my old computer, I used to have a bit of choppiness on that game, where like at certain points, not all the time, but sometimes it would just kind of freeze for that, like, you know, a millisecond or something. You kind of notice it jump a little bit. I haven't had any of those experiences. It's been extremely smooth. For rendering videos, it's been basically like a 1-to-1 ratio. So for 1080p 30 FPS videos, if I have a 5-minute video, it'll take around 5 to 6 minutes to render. For a 5-minute 1080p 60 FPS video, it's taken around 10 to 12 minutes to render. And it's just been fantastic. I know that it can kind of handle anything I throw at it. I feel confident moving into Destiny 2. If it's on PC, I feel fairly well prepared. Overall, I've been completely satisfied with my computer experience with Ironside. I think their PC shipping kind of system they have going with the cubes instead of the packaging peanuts, and then they put this some sort of weird synthetic mold thing on the inside of their computer, so you kind of just pull it out when you get the computer, but it basically keeps the GPU and all the internal components from flopping around during shipping. I have shipped a computer before. It came to the person broken. The GPU was shattered. It just was not a good situation. So for this, it's kind of hands off. You don't have to worry about, like, for example, it's going to be cheaper for you to build your own computer, but it is a complicated thing to do. Obviously, for people that know how to do it, you're going to say, no, it's not complicated at all. But for people who just simply aren't good with technology, it can be a little bit scary. So Ironside Computer, it's a pre-built computer company. They make sure that everything is taken care of. You don't have to worry about being broken in shipping. Everything, because it's a little bit more of a smaller company, their quality control is a lot higher. So if you don't mind paying that little bit of an extra $1, it's kind of the hands-off, okay, I have a little bit more money to spend. I just want to make sure that I get a good functioning PC and I don't have to worry about parts breaking or having to buy replacement parts all the time. So that's kind of what I recommend it for. Obviously, I am sponsored by them, so you do want to take that into account when you're looking at what computer to buy, because my opinion, although I'm being completely honest with you, you do have to remember that I am sponsored by them. So if you don't mind paying up that little bit of extra $1 for the computer, I would highly recommend Ironside. That's going to do it for the video. If you want to save 5% at checkout, you can use code SirDimetrious. Same as my YouTube, same as my Twitch. That's how you spell it. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Peace.